You may be a new shooter, a longtime gun owner, or even a police officer or soldier. No personal defense handgun is fully equipped without a Crimson Trace laser sight or light. Get the confidence and reliability you need to protect family, home, and country. Call 800-442-2406 or visit crimsontrace.com for a free copy of our new laser training video, The Laser's Edge, Crimson Trace.
Broadcasting nationwide, this is Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Your views, advice, and questions are the driving force of gun talk. Call Tom now at 866-TALK-GUN. That's 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Or reach out to us via email at tom@guntalk.com. Let us know what you think about the gun-related issues of the day. Now, here's Tom Gresham.
All right, round and third, headed for home, except that there are going to be a few extra innings today. We're going to do the After the Show show. We're welcome to join us for that. And if you haven't checked out last week's, go to guntalk.com/listen, and you can listen to the extra part that we did last week. We're starting to do this, and we're adding a few things in there, just some things we can't get into, or maybe in not in as much depth when we're on the air, so we'll add some of that. You'll be able to join us, be Jim and Michael and me and whoever else wanders through the studio. You never know who or what. We may have Jasmine join us. Who knows? All right. Our number is 866-TALK-GUN. In Erie, Pennsylvania, a fellow was going to have a meet, a get-together, a demonstration, a party, a gathering, whatever, a gun rights gathering, and the Erie folks said, well, that's fine, you can do that, but you can't carry your guns openly. But open carry is legal in Pennsylvania. So they did anyway, and sure enough, they got cited. And being a good gun activist and a guy who's not going to just shrug and say that's just the way it is, Justin Dillon took him to court. Justin joining us right now after a big win. Hey, Justin, congratulations.
Thank you, Tom, for having me on your show.
Absolutely. So they cited you and I guess, 7 other guys for open carrying in the park there because they have a law or had a law in the area that said that's illegal. But you knew that was in conflict with state law, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what'd you do after you got cited?
Well, basically after that, we had about a good almost 9.5 months of going back and forth in the courts. We knew we had to take it to the higher courts because we weren't going to get anywhere with the local judges since they were kind of in the basket with the mayor and everything here. So we basically challenged them on Pennsylvania's preemption, which is 6120, that preempts any municipality or township from enacting any ordinances against firearms.
Okay. So, but you had to go through the lower court, take it to a higher court. What was the city's position? They were just saying, look, this is our law and we don't care what the state says?
Basically, that was exactly, you put it the best way I could put it. They just wanted to do what they wanted to do. They didn't think that the higher courts even had jurisdiction in this matter, that this was their decision and the courts need to stay out, which is by far the worst thing you can tell a judge to even do.
I bet the higher courts didn't much appreciate that.
No, they really didn't, and that's why I had a 7-0 win. All 7 judges decided to hear the case, which was even more fantastic because it was considered what's called an e-bunk hearing. Basically, That means the entire panel of the state judges wanted to hear the case, and they basically handed down, put down the ruler or the gauntlet, as you can say, on the city of Erie.
And they ruled that the city's ordinance is unlawful and unenforceable. So where does that leave everything now? Is the city going to back off on trying to ban open carry in parks?
Well, they just recently backed off. They decided not to appeal the decision, and that the judge will adhere to the higher courts and grant the permanent injunction and dismiss all the fines that we had. It was a total of, well, not a total, it was $220.50 a piece per person. Mm-hmm. So those are also going to be dismissed.
Okay. Now, you also, I gather, are the founder of Open Carry Pennsylvania. You might explain to people, Pennsylvania has open carry, but it wasn't. This is is it a relatively new thing, or at least everybody trying to get the cities to recognize open carry?
It's more to get people to recognize. For the longest time, there's always a divided line between gun owners alike, between open carrying of a firearm and concealed carrying of a firearm. Mm-hmm. Each way it has its own flaws and positive sides.
Right.
We want to show that it's not scary or a bad thing to do. No, it's not a show and tell. We're not out there, thinking that we're bad or anything like that. We just show as it is a deterrent, and that's the way that we choose to carry. We also carry concealed also. It's not every day that we're walking around with it openly. We're not the ones walking into the malls with AR-15 strapped to our backs. But,
right.
We walk around and we show people and educate people about the laws in Pennsylvania because, unfortunately, even gun owners themselves don't know what the laws are.
Yeah, that's often the case. Now, do you have a website for your group?
Yes, we actually have two. If you have Facebook, then it would be Facebook.com/Open Carry Pennsylvania or OpenCarryPennsylvania.com. Those are both of our sites that you can get a hold of us at.
That'll work. Justin, congratulations, and keep at it, man. Fighting the good fight. Don't just shrug. Don't just say that's just the way it is. You got to push back. That's the only way we win. Well done, friend.
Thank you very much for having me on your show.
You betcha. All right, 866-TALK-GUN. Get you in here. This is Gun Talk.
Professionals who depend on their weapon depend on XS Sights, the leader in American-made gunfighter night sights for personal and home defense. One dot, one solution. See demonstration videos from top trainers and industry leaders at XSSights.com. Upgrade your carry gun, rifle, and tactical shotgun with XS Sights. Contact XS Sights at 888-744-4880 or visit XSSights.com. If you need a gun, you need XS Sights.
Crossbreed Holsters is broadening our product selection to serve more of your concealed carry needs. With products handmade in the USA, like the bedside backup, gun belts, and of course our world-famous Super Tuck and Mini Tuck holsters, we understand what works, and we take pride in providing you with a quality product. At Crossbreed Holsters, we live and breathe concealed carry. We make and sell products that we believe in and products that our customers love. To see more, go to crossbreedholsters.com. That's crossbreedholsters.com.
A great trigger can make you a better shooter. For over 60 years, Timney triggers have been trusted by hunters and shooters everywhere. Timney triggers are proudly made in the USA and come with a lifetime warranty. Installation is easy. Give yourself the Timney Trigger advantage. To see more and order online, go to timneytriggers.com. That's TIMNEY triggers.com.
TopGunSupply.com carries a large selection of fine firearms and accessories. Get all the parts you need for your Sig Sauer, HK, and Glock pistols. Grips, screws, recoil springs, sights, barrels, magazines, holsters. The list goes on. Our knowledgeable sales staff, professional service, great prices, and super fast shipping are here to help you. Check us out today. TopGunSupply.com. TopGunSupply.com.
Who is this Tom Gresham, and what's with all the gun stuff? Check out our FAQs at guntalk.com or email us your question or concern to tom@guntalk.com. Now, back to Gun Talk.
I'll tell you what, Jim and Michael, why don't we pick up that conversation for the After the Show show? During the break, we're talking about, do we practice shooting with the weak hand? Do you actually practice drawing? Say that you're right-handed. Have you tried drawing your gun with your left hand? If you keep your gun with empty chamber, can you rack the slide one-handed? Hold on to that thought, guys. We'll pick that up. If you want to listen to that, it'll be the After the Show show, which we're going to be doing in, 45 minutes or so, having some fun with that. Let's see. I want to go to line 3, where we have Rusty in Grants Pass, Oregon. Hey, Rusty.
Well, how you doing there, Tom?
I'm good. How can we help you?
stroke a while back, and I'm right-handed, and I lost all the workings of my right arm. I can't control it. Mm-hmm. And I'd like to have a revolver, I guess, around.
Sure.
But I'm not even sure how to to hold it and everything, unless I hold it in the crotch of my arm, maybe.
Well, now, can you use it? Can you shoot it left-handed?
Well, I'm a right-handed shooter normally.
I don't care.
I guess I'll be left-handed.
You're going to be a left-handed shooter. There's no reason in the world you can't master that thing, shoot left-handed. Here's my suggestion is, get yourself... Now, are you going to carry it, or are you going to just have it in the home? Because that's going to help me decide which kind of revolver.
I don't get outside or nothing because I'm crippled up pretty bad.
Okay. So. I would say then get a revolver, a .357 Magnum revolver, or 38, doesn't matter, with a 4-inch barrel. 4 inches is going to be a real nice size. And I want you to, when you get it, to practice with an empty gun and double and triple check, make sure it's empty. Just pulling the trigger, again and again and again. And at first, your finger's going to get real tired real fast. But after a while, you're going to get really strong. It's going to work for you. And I'm going to make a suggestion, because you're a lefty, you're not a lefty, you're going to be shooting left, that you get a revolver with a laser. The Crimson Trace laser grips I really like. That's going to help a bit with your aiming. But what will happen is, if you practice your trigger pull with an empty gun, with a laser, you're going to see that laser jump every time you pull the trigger. Don't cock the hammer, just pull the trigger. Okay, you're just pulling the trigger, you're not cocking the hammer. And you'll get better and better at pulling that trigger, and the laser dot does not jump each time as much. And after a while, you get really good at it. But I think what we need for you is you need a revolver, 38 or .357 Magnum, 4-inch barrel with a laser, and you need to work on the left-handed shooting. So that'll take care of it. I think we've got a plan for you. Rusty, thank you for calling. Mike's on 2 out of New York State. Hey, Mike.
Yes, New York State's hunting incident rate, or accidents, has fallen by 70% since the 1960s. It was running around 19 per 100,000 in the 60s. In the last 5 years, it has averaged 4.3 per 100,000. So I think we're doing something right.
You know, what you need is a group to come along and show you how to do safety.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You've dropped the accident rate by 70%. That is astounding. That's fabulous. Now, look, you and I would both agree, right? Any of them's too many, and we want to keep working on it. But at the same time, hey, how about a little credit here for the folks who've actually been doing this before some of these folks were ever born? So just, it's a great point, and I appreciate you making that. We have, the media, I know I go back to this, and here's the reason. It's not about the media. I don't really care about them. What I care about is that public opinion is shaped by the media. And the public thinks that gun violence is increasing. And the public thinks that accidental shootings of children is going up. And the public thinks that hunting accidents are going up. None of those is true. Gun violence is down 40% over the last 20 years. Accidental shooting deaths of children, the rate is down 56% since 1981. At the same time, the number of handguns went up 216%. So we've got half the number of accidental childhood shooting deaths. And hunting accidents down, in this case, as Mike points out, 70%. How can those be true and the public thinks the exact opposite? There's only one way. They're being lied to, and they don't know where to go to for their information. So I would say if this new group, Evolve, really wants to be helpful, they would start out by getting the public to understand the facts as they are and not the scare tactics as they're being put forth by the media. They would put out the word that, hey, gun violence is down 40%. Hunting accidents are down. Childhood accidental shooting deaths are down by almost half. So if you'd like to know where to start, may I suggest that's a good place? Yeah. Well, those stats are from the Bureau of Justice Statistics on the violence. That's the U.S. Department. And information on accidental child shooting deaths is from the Centers for Disease Control. Pretty good group to pay attention to. And, of course, then we have our state hunting organizations, which document the hunting accidents. So all of those are government entities. None of those, it's a good point, Jim, none of those is the NRA, okay? So, I mean, there you go. Line 4, Larry's with us. Bald Knob, Arkansas. Hey, Larry. Oh, Larry went away. Okay, let's try Sue on 3, Cave Junction. Hey, Sue.
Hi.
Hey there.
How are you doing?
I am good. How can we help you?
Well, I don't need any help. I have just helped myself. I am a woman in my 70s, and I wanted to find the correct or the comfortable concealed carry weapon. I found the Sig Sauer 938, and I can't tell you what a wonderful gun this is.
So how did you go about finding it? What happened to lead you to the 938?
Well, I bought a Sig 229 Elite. It's kind of a duty weapon. Not that I'm, police or anything like that, but it's a wonderful gun to shoot. I love the trigger on it. It's very accurate, but it's too heavy to carry all the time.
Right.
And being that I'm short, kept trying to carry it concealed is like carrying a camel hump.
It's too much, yeah.
So I started looking, and I've talked with people. I looked at Ruger and looked at some other small guns, but I love the triggers on the SIGs, and I love the night sights. So I went back and started looking at what they had that was a compact. The weight is just incredible, and I can't praise this gun enough. It is absolutely fun to shoot. You don't even know you're carrying it. It's just, if there are any women out there with small hands that are looking for a concealed carry weapon that they feel comfortable with, I just can't recommend this one highly enough.
Let me explain. The SIG P938 it's almost like a tiny little 1911. It's got a single action trigger, it's got a hammer, it's got a thumb safety, which means it is a really good shooter. It also means you need to carry it in a good holster, as you should with anything that covers the trigger guard. How do you carry your gun?
Well, I am looking for a holster right now, and I'm doing some searches online. I have found Ready Holster, and right now I'm carrying it in just a little nylon, big mic thing that will keep it on my side. Right. But I want something I can carry an extra mag with it. So I am looking.
Well, now, are you wearing pants primarily when you're carrying your gun?
I am, yes.
One of the beauties of this little gun is that the magazines are so slim, a single stack mag, you can just slide it into your left pants front pocket. With some,
right.
With guys can, depending on the kind of pants you're wearing. Women tend to wear fabrics that are a little bit lighter and might print the magazine a little bit more, so it's a consideration. Yeah. But just something to be aware of. You could do that. Let me ask you another question. You're in Arizona, right?
Oregon.
Oregon. Okay, I'm sorry. There are some really good... Where in Oregon exactly?
It's southwestern Oregon, if you know where Grants Pass is.
Gotcha. Right where you are.
Junction is about 30 miles southwest of Grants Pass.
Okay. Yes, there are some good training schools around there you could go to that have some... if you go... You got to go kind of far north, though, for you. Just north of Portland, there's the Firearms Academy of Seattle. It's actually in Chehalis, and they've got some good women instructors there. But it sounds like you have landed on the right gun for you, and I will tell you, I love the P238 SIG just because it does shoot like a little 1911. It's a 9mm. That's the other thing. It's I like 380s, but it's a real 9. So the thing just works, and the recoil doesn't bother you, huh?
Oh, the recoil is incredible. I have the 229, which I shoot, and the recoil is okay. I mean, it's not bad, but what I'm finding with the little 938 is I come back on target so much faster because the weight of the gun is so much lighter. And for me, that's great.
Wow. Well, that's a heck of a recommendation. Well, Sue, listen, thank you for the range report on that one. I guarantee you there are a lot of women right now Googling up the SIG P938. That's the 938. So thanks for that one. I appreciate it. Let's see. Let me pick up Fuzzy on line 1 out of Marshall, Texas. Hey, Fuzz.
Hey, I'm a real 6'5", .45 fan, Tom, and I've got 3 6.5 by 55 guns, and then my favorite, the most accurate, is the 6.5 Creedmoor in a Ruger Model 77 Mark II.
Ooh, nice. The Creedmoor is very nice. What is it about the 6.5 that you like so much?
Well, I'm 56, and the recoil's gone when you're shooting a 6.5 like in a 140.
Yep.
And one of the things I was thinking about with the 26 nozzler is you're running the bullet down the barrel so quick, you're definitely going to wash out the barrel a lot sooner than running it down the barrel at about 2,800 feet a second like the Creedmoor does.
Yeah, there's no doubt when you increase the velocity and the amount, it's really more about the amount of powder, because the powder burn is what washes out the throat of a barrel. And the 264 Win Mag, that was one of the things about it. People said, well, it just burns out barrels quickly. You know, back when people only used these for hunting, if you got 500 or 1,000 rounds out of a barrel, that was 3 lifetimes. If you're going to use it for like a long-range competition, that becomes a little bit more of an issue, because you could, between practice and competition, over the course of a year or 2 or 3, you could shoot 1,000 rounds easily. So that's one of the questions that I asked the folks at Nosler, and they said, well, actually, we're using powders now that don't erode the barrel nearly as much as they did 40 years ago plus, when we had the 264 Win Mag. So they are aware of it, but they'll also acknowledge, I'm sure, that this is it's a matter of physics. When you're shoving that much hot gas down there, you actually get an erosion of the throat. And over the course of 1,000 or thousands of rounds, you're going to get some wear. Okay, now, and look, I appreciate the call, Fuzzy. One of the things that real rifle shooters know is one of the tricks you can use if that happens. Have a gunsmith cut 1 rotation's worth off the threads, take the barrel off, shorten the barrel on the breech end, screw it back in, rechamber it. And now what you've done is you have actually drilled in and rechambered the barrel so that you've gotten rid of the erosion part where the rifling starts. You have a new chamber, and you can get basically a whole new life out of that barrel. That's a fairly common thing. Most of us will never have that issue because we don't shoot that much. We don't shoot enough for that to be a problem, but it's something to be aware of. Yeah, 26s are cool. Do you shoot a 26, a 6.5? Would love to hear from you. What is it that you like about them, and how does it shoot for you?
Tom Gresham's Gun Talk is broadcast nationwide every Sunday. If you can't hear Gun Talk where you live, call your local talk format station and clue them in on Gun Talk. Stay tuned. We're coming right back. Now broadcasting nationwide on radio, via satellite, and through downloads, iTunes, the Gun Talk app, and other podcast clients. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
All right, back with you. We were talking about, during the break, we're talking about, let's see, guys, safeties on our pistols. Which ones do we use? We got to talking about belts and holsters and 9s and the SIG P938. And then we switched to the Shield. Then we switched to the M&P full size, and we went to the 1911. So we're going to continue that in our After the Show show. You're welcome to join us, or if you miss it, be sure to check it out. You can go to guntalk.com/listen to download that and hear what we yak about later on. Oh, by the way, if you want a chance to win a very cool shotgun, I think this is, last chance to enter for a chance to win the XS Sights shotgun. We're giving away. It's a Remington 870 tactical shotgun with XS Sights on it, but also with the Gun Talk logo. Go to guntalk.com/win for a chance to win. Line 2, Carl, Atlanta, Texas. Hey, Carl.
Tom, you were talking earlier about those smart gun features. Mm-hmm. That's going to open up a whole new black market industry for thugs to wipe the blood stains off of them and disable the smart gun feature and sell them to thugs, street thugs.
There's just so many things wrong with the concept of the whole smart gun, so-called smart gun. I can imagine somebody coming up with an electronic way of deactivating the whole thing so your gun doesn't work. Like I said, if it is such a great idea, Let's test it. Let's require it to be used by law enforcement and Secret Service for a while. And if they won't do that, then we should refuse and resist and demand that it not be instituted or required for the rest of us. Okay, simple as that. Thanks, Carl. I appreciate that. Dan's in Casper, Wyoming, one of my favorite places on 4. Dan, you got yourself a Colt National match?
Hello?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Dan?
Oh, I'm actually talking to Tom Gresham.
Yes, sir, you are. I hear you've got a national match 1911.
Yes, sir. Tom, I got it's Colt 1911, A1. Says property United States Army.
Cool.
But it's got this Drake national match slide. It's got the adjustable rear sights. It's got the target grips and everything. I got it in a gun trade.
Okay.
And it's got the keeper on the front and everything. And I was told that I couldn't shoot this thing unless I used only wad cutters or semi-wad cutters.
Ah, okay. It's wrong, but it may be right. Here's what's going on there. It's very possible, even likely, that they have a light recoil spring in that gun for shooting low-powered wad cutter loads. All you would need to do would be to replace that recoil spring with a standard 1911 recoil spring, and you should be good to go shooting ball ammo in it. Everything else should be just fine.
Well, I wasn't even planning on keeping this thing because it's so heavy.
Well, it is heavy, but if you're out there shooting, in matches, you want it to hang on target real well. But it's a nice gun. If you're going to use it for trading stock, I think you've got a good one. That ought to work for you. Anyway, Dan, that's the story with that. Basically, if you wanted to shoot ball ammo with it, you could swap the spring out. I appreciate that. Line 3, Steve is with us out of California. Hey, Steve, what?
Met you many years ago, a Scottish gentleman and a retired Green Beret colonel down in Fresno trying to get your show on up here in Modesto series. Glad that has been accomplished.
Were you by any chance
talking about shooter's Bibles?
Hey, Steve, were you?
Yeah,
hey, Steve, were you by any chance wearing a kilt?
That was me.
I remember all that very well. How you doing, partner?
Very good, very good. Years ago, when we were trying to stop California's SB 23, the assault bill, we were putting 50 people at a time in all the offices, couple at a time, working them, moving them to another office, trying to stop that bill. We were having some success, so we went to the author's office, Don Peralta, and we, after arguing for a while, which was not our original intent, but it definitely was his, we came upon how he designed and authored that bill. He took a shooter's Bible and circled the guns that he thought should be banned, and we got him to outright admit that the scientific reason he used for wanting to ban those guns was because they were ugly.
Really? You got him to say that?
Yep. He got so tired of us trying to talk to him, he called the inside police on us, and they would not remove us from his office. In fact, they stood in the hall just chuckling. It wasn't a very popular bill with anybody, but it got passed anyway. We did the best we could. But when I heard about the shooter's Bible, I had to call in and tell you about that.
Wow. Amazing. All right. Thanks, Steve. I appreciate that. Let's get Dan here before we have to run to our break on line 2 out of Tulsa. Hey, Dan.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Well, you're hearing all this about the lead plant closing, huh?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, I think I heard you say I was listening to you, and you said that it would not affect ammunition at all because all ammunition came from recycled lead.
Correct.
Where does recycled lead come from, Tom?
Well, I guess there's enough of it that they are not worried. All I can tell you is that the guys who make ammo, and they would be the ones who would be very concerned if this was going to affect them. Yeah, batteries and other places. They say, look, don't worry about it. We're good forever with what we've got. This lead plant closing will have absolutely no impact. And so when Remington, Winchester, Hornady, Federal, all the rest of these guys say, don't worry about it. We're good making ammo. Then I go, what do I know? I got to go with that. So that's where that comes from. And when you say, where does I know where you're going. It's where does recycled lead come from? It comes from new, but evidently there's enough in circulation to where it's just not going to be a problem. Lord knows we've got enough car batteries just to start off with. 866 Talk Guns. Give me a holler.
You know the name Walther is a legendary brand, but do you know the new Walther? The new Walther has introduced 3 new precision handguns. The smooth PPQ M2 is a breakthrough in ergonomics and trigger pull. The tough PPX is a workhorse at a value price. The cool, iconic PPK S22 blends classic PPK with the fun of the economical 22 LR. There is a lot going on at the new Walther. Visit us at waltherarms.com. Walther, at your favorite retailer.
What do LaserMax customers say about LaserMax lasers?
I'm alive because of your company. I was robbed at gunpoint. 2 of my 3 shots hit their intended target, and I was able to remove the threat. I made it home to my wife alive.
For shooting accuracy and training, it's a life-saving tool critical to any firearm.
I trust your products with my life. Thank you.
To learn more about LaserMax, go to lasermax.com. That's LaserMax.com. LaserMax.
Face it, sometimes for some reason, you have to leave a handgun in your vehicle. Secure it with a vehicle vault from Console Vault. 12-gauge plate steel, 3-point locking system, bank vault style hinge pins, drill resistant locks, and easy 10-minute installation. Made in the USA. Safely store other valuables too. Jewelry, hard drives, cell phones. Custom models for most trucks and SUVs. Visit consolevault.com. That's CONSOLE vault.com.
If you carry a gun, you need training. Your concealed carry class was definitely not training. But time, money, and obligations keep you from spending days at a shooting school. The trusted folks at Gun Talk can help. Concealed Carry 1, our DVD featuring the VADA Group, covers what gun, what holster, how to carry, where to wear your gun, and much more. Visit shopguntalk.com. That's shopguntalk.com. Look, this really is life and death. Learn how to stay aware, how to get away, and how to fight if you must. At shopguntalk.com, you can get the 2 DVD set, including Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. No matter what gun you carry, this vital training info can save your life. Learn the draw, the stance, reloading, vital gear from Gun Talk. That's shopguntalk.com. Shopguntalk.com.
Inaccurate is just plain worthless. Doesn't matter if you're shooting for a national championship or just trying to beat your friend. You need accurate ammo. Nosler's match-grade handgun ammunition delivers. You get Nosler sporting handgun and custom competition bullets in Nosler head-stamped brass, loaded to the same strict tolerances as Nosler's match-grade rifle ammo. Handgun accuracy through match-grade ammo. Available in 9mm, 40, and 45. Visit Nosler.com.
A famous radio consultant once said he'd be off the air in a year. Whoops! Defending your Second Amendment rights since 1995 on over 150 radio stations nationwide. You're listening to Gun Talk with Tom Gresham.
Interesting. Email coming in from Michael. He went to opensecrets.org. Did a little search for Rebecca Bond, founder of Evolve, this group that's they say they're a gun safety group. It kind of has the feel of some gun control stuff. It just something doesn't seem right about it. So we went and checked, and if it's the same person, there's a Rebecca Bond that gave $5,000 to the Democratic National Committee, as well as, $2,500 for Americans for Responsible Solutions. Yeah, you are known by those you associate with. Line 1, Vance, Reno, Nevada. Hey, you got a gun safety idea for us?
Yeah, gun-proofing your children, the Mossad Ayub way. Okay?
He actually had a book called that.
Yeah. I am 59 years old, and before Mossad came out with that pamphlet, How to Gun-Proof Your Children, that's what my father was taught, and then his father taught him that way. Basically, you start them early, and the novelty is gone after a couple, 3 times.
Exactly. Actually, I just looked. You could go on Amazon and you can get a copy of Gun-Proof Your Children for about $5. So the idea is that rather than, and it's brilliant, and Mossad would have thought this through very well. Rather than try to child-proof your gun, you gun-proof your child. And in fact, you know what? That's exactly what the NRA's 80 Eagle program is. We're going to teach young children, very young children, that if you come across a gun, you stop, don't touch, leave the area, and tell an adult. Just 4 things, real simple. Stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult. As they get older, you can teach them about gun safety, about gun handling safely, that type of thing. You gun-proof your children rather than child-proofing your gun. Scott is in Toledo, Ohio on 3. Hey, Scott.
Hello, Tom.
So what's this about semi-auto?
The word scares people, and people use it to scare people, and I've been a gun owner for a long time, and I just see the mechanical side of it. I mean, semi-automatic, it means one shot at a time. It's not like in the movies where an M16 is a machine gun.
The gun goes off one time each time you pull the trigger. So, if you prefer, you could call it an auto loader, because that's actually what it does. Is after you shoot it, it loads itself using the energy from the cartridge rather than you have to do something mechanical to load the gun. So it's really an auto loader.
Right. And my second point would be, how many times do we have to straighten that out? My second point is, you guys have more access to media than I do, but anyone who's listening on the computer, look it up. Remember when Dianne Feinstein had her display with her assault rifles on, and she had her cop buddies standing behind her? Mm-hmm. It was right after Sandy Hook. There was a guy in a cop uniform, walked up, pointed at an AR-15. He says, "Look at that." These are almost his exact words. He says, "Look at that thing. You go hunting with that, you won't have anything left to eat."
Well, they don't know what they're talking about. You and I both know that the rifles they're talking about are actually somewhere between medium and low-powered cartridges. A 223 or a 7.62 by 39, those are the 2 primary cartridges that are chambered in semi-automatic or modern sporting rifles. Those are low-powered cartridges. I mean, in many states for many years, it wasn't even legal to hunt deer with a 223 because it wasn't powerful enough to even hunt deer, much less being a super powerful, scary whatever they're trying to scare us with. So they don't know what they're talking about. You have this goofball that just made this video out in California, some legislator calling them ghost guns. He uses so many terms wrong. A 30 caliber magazine that holds 30 caliber means 30 bullets, and it goes on and on. You just want to scream. You're saying, you are so stupid. Usually I would use the word ignorant, but in this case, he is both ignorant and stupid. Because if you're that ignorant, only someone who's really stupid would stand up in front of all the cameras and pronounce his ignorance to everybody. So you're both ignorant, which means you don't know the subject matter, and stupid because you've made really bad choices and don't have the common sense or the judgment to not embarrass yourself before the world. So there's a lot of that. I mean, it's just, yes, they don't know what they're talking about, but it doesn't keep them from making these pronouncements. And once again, I'm going to return to this often because it's your role as a Truth Squad member to correct it every time the media gets it wrong. Every time. And you tell reporters, and now we can actually write them with email because they put it on their websites and say, you have embarrassed yourself. This is not right. You've been hornswoggled. You've been duped by one side of this. Reporters don't like to be told that they've been tricked. They may not print a retraction. They may not print a correction. But the next time, they're probably going to be a little bit less open to being duped by the gun ban groups. So we have to challenge it every time. That's what Truth Squad is all about. That's what you're all about. We never let a lie go unchallenged because a lie left unchallenged, unfortunately, becomes the truth.
Join the NRA via Tom Gresham's Gun Talk website and receive $10 off the regular membership price. Log on to guntalk.com for details. You're listening to Tom Gresham's Gun Talk. Just because we're wrapping up on the air doesn't mean we're done talking about guns. Stick around for the after show. It's our podcast-only version designed to include all the stuff we simply couldn't fit into a regular show. Call in now at 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, back to Tom.
Yeah, if you want to be on the After the Show, you better call right now, and we'll be able to carry you over if you make the cut. Most people do. Let's go to line one first off. Jerome in Utah. Jerome, you're up.
Yeah, I was scanning through my email while I was listening to the program, and I run across an article in yesterday's Sacramento Bee. Mm-hmm. The cops wander up and start talking to a trio of people, and a gun falls out of one guy's pocket. So somebody doesn't know about holsters.
Right.
And they arrest him on the spot. Another fellow named Jones, he goes running off down the street, and the cop starts chasing after him. He goes out of sight, and the cop hears a shot.
Mm-hmm.
Comes around a corner, finds the guy hiding, and says, there's a gun laying next to him, too.
Okay.
So they take him on in. During questioning, this guy is showing that his right leg is hurting.
Yeah.
So the cop takes a look in his pocket. There's powder residue in the pocket and a hole.
He shot himself.
He shot himself.
So neither one of these guys had a holster.
Carry your gun.
Get a good holster. Well, in this case, it worked out for the good guys. Hey, thanks for the story. Jeff, Spokane, Washington. You want to know about Wyndham Arms?
Well, yes, Tom. I've recently been considering purchasing an AR-15.
Mm-hmm.
And my original intent was to go with either Colt or Armalite, seeing as they're the two oldest companies on that platform.
Mm-hmm.
But neither one of those are making all the features that I'm looking for.
Okay.
And Wyndham Arms was suggested to me. I've been told that they are 100% mil-spec. I've also been told that they're actually the former Bushmaster.
I was just going to say, that's the story on Wyndham. Basically, when his non-compete ran out, Mr. Richard Dyke, who sold Bushmaster to the Freedom Group, Freedom Group moved it all out of Maine, and he was still left up there. He owned the building, owned everything, and all these former employees were unemployed, and he sent an email out to them and said, hey, any of you guys want to come back to work? And a whole bunch of them said, you bet. So that's how we have Wyndham. It's basically the old Bushmaster.
So would you say that that would be a good one to go with?
I would think that would be certainly one to be considered. Look, you can't go wrong with Colt if they make what you want. That's always the whole deal. Of who has the rifle with the set of features you're looking for? Smith, Sig, Ruger. I mean, there are a whole bunch of really good ARs being made out there now. So I guarantee you, by shop around, you can find them. But I would put Wyndham. You know, they're going to be right up there with the best of them. I mean, this is basically the old Bushmaster, if you will.
Okay, because and I never knew that much about Bushmaster either. I mean, I've heard of them, but I really didn't know much about them either. As far as
no, they make a good product, and I mean, I don't know about Wyndham. I haven't had a chance to actually use any of their products, but I'm guessing they probably make good stuff. We have no shortage of good product out there. I love Colt, Sig, Smith, Ruger, Colt Competition. If you're looking for something special on that side of things. Holy cow, who is it, POF, if you want to spend a lot of money and get something a little bit different. A lot of choices out there. It's pretty cool. We're going to have some, tell you what, call in right now, 866-TALK-GUN, if you want to join us for the After the Show show. I'm going to be talking about belts, holsters, calibers, pistols, how I carry, what I carry, when I carry. Call us, 866-TALK-GUN, and we can carry you over for the After the Show show. If you can't join us, be sure to check it out sometime during the week. In the meantime, go shooting and take somebody with you. And be safe out there.